So, hello everyone and welcome to another video. So, it's time for my wrap up, my July wrap up. I think I read 22 books this month, which is crazy. It's great. I really love that I have been able to do that. Just because, like, these last few months, I've not been in the best reading mood, but then I figured out a way for me to actually start loving reading again, and it made things so much easier. But we have a lot of books to talk about, so I will just start. Some of these I definitely talk more about in my vlogs, so I try to talk like my feelings in there. So yeah, and I will explain a little bit on each book, but we will try and make it quick. So the first book I read was Milka Honey, and this is a poetry collection by Ruby Kaur, and I gave these 3 stars. I don't know how I'm going to explain poetry books. I really am bad at explaining poetry books. That is not my strongest side, because I just feel like they are mostly about the same things, like heartbreak, love, how to love yourself after maybe something has happened in your life. But yeah, I give it 3 stars. It's not my favorite, but overall I really enjoyed it, and I definitely can't wait to read more from this author to see if I like her, like maybe another book more. Then I read Saga Volume 1, and this is a reread for me. I give it 5 stars. So this is about, it's told from a baby's perspective, basically, which is pretty cool. It's a graphic novel series, and it's about these 2 people from different kind of universes, and basically they like each of their people are at war with each other, but basically they find each other and now they are getting hunted. So I'm not going to say anything more because it is like 150 pages, so I don't want you to know too much, but it's a cool concept. I like it. It's graphic, so just be warned. And then I read Aphrodite Made Me Do It, and I gave it 4 stars. This is also a poetry collection, and this one was more of like a, should I call it feminist theme, something in those lines. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to say anything more than that. If you are into poetry, then definitely try this one out. I really enjoyed it. It was like close to a 5 stars, but not a full 5 stars. And then I reread The Hunger Games, and 5 stars. I really enjoyed this series. I just think that the reason why I love this series is because it made me want to start reading again. So The Hunger Games is about Katniss Everdeen, and she lives in District 12, which is the poorest of the districts. And basically there was a rebellion years and years ago, and basically as a reminder of that they did not win, the capital, they made the Hunger Games, and basically each year you pick 1 female tribute and 1 male tribute to be sent to the capital, and eventually they will be set out into this arena where they will fight to the death, and there is only 1 winner. So yeah, I feel like this is a good book to start with if you kind of want to get into reading, like you have never read anything before. These are really easy to get through, they are easy read, and you kind of want to continue on reading to see what is happening. And then I read Assassin's Apprentice, and I gave it 3 stars. It was my favorite, but I overall liked it. So this is about Fitz, and Fitz is basically the bastard son of the prince, and basically the one that is watching over him basically goes to the stable master and says that this is the bastard son's prince, I don't want him anymore. Maybe he should meet his father. And basically what happens is that the king in waiting, the prince in waiting, which is Fitz's father, he abdicates the throne, and basically before Fitz even gets there, he is gone. And now he's being raised by the stable master, and later on, the king decides that Fitz is in a position where he can like mingle with both crowds, and basically the king wants to train Fitz to become an assassin. So I liked it. It was good, but it wasn't like my favorite. I was a little bored from time to time. But I will definitely continue on with this series because it was good. And I'm curious to see how things is going. And I also know that like in the third trilogy, someone cries. And then I'm like, why? So I'm curious about that. And then I reread Good Gone Bad. And this is the third book in the Fallen Man series, and we are following Harley Rose. And basically, these are like standalone books in a series. So we are following Harley Rose, and basically she kills her boyfriend who was trying to rape her. And basically, she could have called her father or her brother, but she didn't. She called a detective called Lionel Danner. And basically, now she wants to try and take this club down. So, 5 stars, loved it. And yeah, I really, really love this series. And I definitely can't wait to read the 2 books that I haven't read in this series yet. And then I read The Sorcerer of the Wild Apes, and I gave 3 stars. I can't tell you what this book is about. It was okay. It is a male fantasy book, and yeah, that is basically all I can tell you. I liked it when I read it, but it wasn't like memorable. As you can tell, I don't remember much from it, so it wasn't that memorable. But I mean, if you want something short, then definitely you can try this out. It's, yeah, I mean, they aren't bad books. I just could not connect with the characters. So when I don't connect with the characters, I also kind of don't connect with the story. Then I read Untouchable, and wow, this was dark. We are following, is her name Zoe? And basically, okay, so I need to basically say this. In the first like 4 chapters, she's basically raped by this guy, and basically he gets obsessed with her, and he kind of, yeah, he's just obsessed and follows her around, and she's like, well, I survived this, but what if he does it to someone else? So yeah, I give it 4 stars, but it wasn't like, yeah, I don't know if I loved or hate this book. It's just really strange, and it's really dark, and I have no idea how I actually feel about this book. But I like the writing. The themes in here was something, not for everyone, and I don't think that you should just pick up this if you are not sure if you are ready for it, or if you are actually able to read this for your own health. Like, I am that person who can like distance myself from books, especially books. And yeah, that is just how I am. So if a book makes me cry, they have done something that rarely any books have done. So yeah, overall I have no idea how I feel about this book, to be honest, and definitely check out all trigger warnings even before you get into this book. Then I read A Taste of Honey, and this is the second book in the Sorcerer of the Wild Apes. I don't remember the series name. I also gave this 3 stars. I liked it, but I was really confused. Yeah. So I don't know what to say. It's male, and it's people from different universes and not universes, places, and I don't know what to say because it's said over like years and years and years, and basically at the end I was very confused. But I liked it well enough. Then I read The Day Is Ready For You, and this is a poetry book. I gave it 4 stars. I liked it. That is kind of all I usually say about poetry books. That I liked it, or I didn't like it, or yeah, because I usually don't have much like this is why I loved it. I just feel like I connect with it in some way. Then I read The Final Empire. This is the first book in the Mistborn series, and I spent like way too long reading this, and when I read it I gave it 5 stars. This is about a place where the bad guy won and has ruled for 1,000 years. And basically now there is a group of people who wants to kind of take him down, and basically one of these are this guy, and he's a Mistborn, which in this world is really cool. Basically you can eat metals and basically use those metals to have powers. And basically the Mistborn, he can take and like burn all the metals instead of just one. And then they also meet Vin, who is a girl and has been through like a lot of bad things, and they take on her as a crew member. And yeah, so I am so curious about what is going to happen in this series because it's 3 books, and yeah, I have no idea what is going to happen in those 2 next books. Then I read Sentinel, and I gave it 3 stars. This is like the 4th, 5th book in the Lost Tribe of the Siths, and yeah, they are okay. They are not like my favorites, but they are definitely interesting. And yeah, in this book, they were talking about the person we are following in the next book. Like, now we are starting with like a new series called, well, not series, but new book called Revenon. So I'm curious now. So who knows when I will read that. So then I read After the Fall, and this is the 4th book in the Fallen Man series. And in this one we are back to following King and Cressida. And this one is kind of set at the same time as Good Gone Bad. So basically in Good Gone Bad you have Harley Rose's perspective, and in this book you follow the kind of rest of the Fallen Man people. So yeah, and basically I don't know what to say. It's always some drama, but not everyone likes this book, but just because King and Cressida is already together, because we already met them in Lessons in Corruption. But I gave it 5 stars, loved it. Then I read King of Iron Hearts, and this is a poetry book that is kind of, let's call it, written by King and Cressida. And it's basically the poems that King has written. And I give it 5 stars, not because I personally like connect with it, but it definitely gives a perspective of King, and they give us some backstory that you kind of, or you have to like look between the lines of what it means. But then I read the library of the Unwritten, and I gave it 3 stars, not 4 stars, sorry, 3. And we are following a library of unwritten books in hell. And basically, the librarian in this is, if a book kind of walks out of there, she needs to find it again. And basically, we also follow some angels, and they are looking for this particular book. And when the librarian gets to know that they are looking for a book, she is basically running to find this book before them. So, yeah, I liked it. It was interesting, but I just didn't connect 100% with it. So I was a little bored from time to time. So then I read Sapiens, and this is a nonfiction, and it's basically about this author. He is talking about kind of humans and like up in the years. So I didn't give this a rating just because the author and I have really different perspectives on what our beliefs are. So I just didn't give it a rating because I didn't think it would be fair to the author when he talks about one thing and I basically believe something else. Then that rating would be bad just because I don't connect with it myself. So then I read Earth's End, and this is the 3rd book in the Air Awakens series. I give it 4 stars. I bawled my eyes out on this, so this author has definitely made me love these characters. So yeah, we are following Vala, and basically she, in Air Awakens, she works at the library, and basically they need to basically find a cure for the prince, and basically she does that, and then the prince figures out that she is a windwalker, and basically that it's her story about kind of how she kind of not like became a windwalker, but how she was trained to become one. I love this series, and yeah, I definitely want to buy copies of this series and reread it in the future. Then I read Radiance by Grace Draven, and basically this is about 2 people from different kind of races, and basically before the wedding they decide that they should be like friends. So this is kind of a enemies to friends to lovers fantasy romance, and basically the funniest thing is that they look different and they think each other is ugly. That is like the funniest thing because they are not afraid to say it. Then I read Him, and I gave it 4 stars. I really liked this. So we are following these 2 people. They used to be best friends, but then something happened and they kind of lost touch. And then they meet at a hockey tournament years later, and basically one of these are a kind of not a teacher, but he helps out at this camp where they used to be when they was younger. And then the other guy decides that he should do that as well, so he can basically be together with him. Yeah. Then I read With a Fire on High, and I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoy this. So we are following this girl, and when she was like 14, she got a baby. And now she must kind of get through high school with a baby and different things, and basically she loves to cook. So yeah, basically what I liked about this book was that this girl and the baby daddy, basically they weren't together, but they tried their best to kind of yeah, have this arrangement where they didn't need to go to court, and yeah, they were just, you know, trying to make it work. And they weren't like, yeah, you know, they were like, not like bad blood, but they weren't together in one. And I feel like that is really difficult for some of them, especially when they start dating other people. But I really liked how they were. And yeah, overall, I really like this book. Then I read Idol, and this is basically, this woman finds a man who has crashed into her garden and is laying there like drunk. And this is a like famous guy who is in a band. He's the lead singer in a band, and basically he starts to really like her because she sees him as no one else does, and he basically wants her to go with him, and she don't know if she wants to, but basically, yeah, this is a romance. Really liked it. I give it 4 stars, and definitely can't wait to read the next in this series. Then I read The Color Purple, and I give it 3 stars, and I basically can't tell you what this book is about, like that. It's about these 2 sisters, and they have different lives. Yeah. I don't know what I am going to say about this book, basically. But, yeah. Definitely, if you want to read it, check out the trigger warnings. I like the first half of this book, and then the second half, I just didn't like that much. It was a little boring when we got to there. So yeah, that was all the books. I have spent so much time right now. So yeah, I hope you liked this video, and I will see you next time for another one. Bye!